Millie,
Yes.
I've been wanting to tell you this, but I didn't. I saved it for the podcast.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I should
I'm
say that on the podcast. Anyway, yesterday, my first call to 000.
No.
Yes.
Like on your phone, you just dialed 000.
Yes. Actually, what I did was call Cooper first to make sure that I should call 000.
Okay, what was it?
It's not great. So a car was parked up. It was actually very scary. Everybody was driving real slow past this situation. A guy hopped out of his car. Lady followed him. Looked like a dangerous situation. I'm not sure if she had a weapon. Anyway, I put down my window because I didn't know. I thought they were looking for a dog. It was in Wollongong over a bridge, and I thought they were looking for a dog or something. So I put my window down to see like, oh, do you need help looking for the dog? He screams at me saying, call the police, call the cops, like really like scary. Anyway, I called Cooper. I'm like, should I? And then I made the decision. Yep,
What did he say?
He said, what the hell? What do I know? You're at the situation. Why are you calling me? So then I called the police. And
What did it like? So did it? You called 000.
Yep.
And then did it say like? What did it say?
fire, police, ambulance. And I said, police. And then
Are you nervous?
I was very nervous, but it took 2 minutes to get through to Wollongong.
Right.
Anyway, finally got through. Okay, all my years of watching crime docos really paid off. Me and my dad love crime docos. Since I was about 6, I've been loving them. So they call, I answer. No, I call, they answer. Gave the best description if I do say so myself.
Yep.
Okay, I'll give you a little rundown if you were wondering.
Yeah, I was.
Okay. Hello, I've just crossed. Don't laugh at me. I've just crossed Mullet Creek. There's a southbound car stopped on Mullet Creek. The perpetrator and victim are walking northbound. The woman is in a flannel. She seems unhinged.
What's the situation?
I'm getting to that.
Got the description.
Yeah. The woman's in a flannel. She seems unhinged, walking northbound. The male seems distressed and needs help ASAP. The vehicle was a large ute, grey in colour.
What was the
He just needed help. He said 3 times, call the police, call the police, call the police. So I just said that. But
So there was actually nothing wrong.
well, she looked unhinged.
So what was the situation?
I don't know, Millie. If I knew the situation, I would say it.
Oh my
God.
God.
If somebody's asking you for help 3 times to call the police, you're going to call the police after you call your boyfriend to find out if you should call the police.
Did they come?
Yeah, actually, I was driving past and
So what, you called and then you just left?
yeah, because okay.
So you don't actually know what took place?
No, but you know what I did see? 3 police vehicles steam past me, going straight to the location. I also said the exact
There's a
exit.
$2,000 call out.
Yeah, I said to the exit, I said straight past the Berkeley exit on Mullet Creek, right on top of the bridge. She was very, very happy with my description.
So do you find out like what happened?
No, I didn't know. It's not my information. I just did what I needed to do.
Okay.
Anyway.
I'm really proud of you. That is so good.
Thanks.
It's a great description. Did you think about like videoing or like taking a photo?
No, because the
Your
traffic
memory
was
was
moving.
so good.
Traffic was moving.
Oh, okay.
But and I also said she was calling out his name, so I told them the name.
Right.
Yeah, I won't say it on here.
No, don't say it. Do not
say it on
disclose
here.
that
But yeah.
information.
Anyway.
Wow, riveting.
Yes.
Good on you.
Yes.
I've never called the police
Yeah.
or I haven't called anything like 000 wise.
Yeah. It's weird. I actually have been in a few situations, not that I've ever had to call police, but Cooper is like, how do you get yourselves into these situations? Yeah, a few other ones that are.
Interesting.
Yep.
Well, how's your Wednesday going? There you go. You've called the police and let's get into the podcast,
Yes.
hey?
Yep.
Welcome back to Upfront. Just wanted to say a massive thank you to our listeners. We didn't expect any more than 13 outside of our parents, not that my dad knows how to listen to a podcast or what that is, out of our producer, Charlie, and our manager, Dave, who sent it to everyone on his contact list. So we really appreciate the love. We appreciate the responses. It's been awesome.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, no, we do really appreciate it, guys. We loved hearing your feedback as well, especially about the 18 teams that
18 teams.
so many responses and all different, which was great.
Yes, it's trending at the moment, isn't it? All the chat around the NRL, CBA, what our game's going to look like. And we were going to share a little bit of our response on the 18 teams. We had a few questions come in. We put out a little question box for people to send in. So we're going to answer a couple of those, and it fits in nicely with our views around what we think the game should look like in the next couple of years. So we'll start off, number one. Where do you girls see the NRLW in 3 years' time?
In 3 years' time, well, two separate things. Where do I see it? I see it probably at 12 teams with the Warriors in and potentially another.
The Warriors were in, for those who don't know. The Warriors actually were in from the start.
Seasons.
They were in the inception of NRLW.
Yeah.
And then with the COVID fiasco, it became a little bit too hard, obviously, travelling internationally. So
I definitely see them back in, which will be absolutely great for the women's game. There's so many girls from New Zealand now playing in the comp, and I think it's great for their pathways, especially trying to grow the international space. I think it's really important that they come back in. So I see 12 teams in there. Ideally, though, I would love to see it stay at the 12, not go any more, verse everybody once and a half. But we know that's not going to happen because in the agreement terms, it's still versing everybody once. It's only another 3 extra weeks added on to our contracts. So we can only verse every team once in that and then have maybe a 1 extra week in preseason. So it's pretty outlined where it's going to be.
Yep.
If I had my choice, though, what I would like to see is I would have loved to seen it at 8 teams and just played everybody twice or once and a half. And then have an extended final, so 3-round final series, and have a massive focus on Origin and really pump the funding into Origin to make that elite group really elite. And then those girls filter back into NRLW and upskill the rest of the girls. And I guess having that tier above that upskills everybody else, we see better competition. And then same thing with the Harvey Norman comp and the BMD comp, having that as a tier below, so having it exactly like the men's as a reserve grade comp. When girls aren't playing or making NRLW teams, they go back to reserve grade, play footy and improve there, and then upskill the girls who are trying to get into that team, have it as a ripple-on effect. But I don't think we're going to be seeing that.
I don't think we will, but we both have the same view on that. I agree 100%. We need to have a comp running alongside the NRLW, and also what you said was having a longer final series. That is absolute minimum. There's got to be at least 2 semi-final games. Like, it needs to be the top 4 at least, and then 1 and 2 play each other, and then the winner of 1 and 2 gets a rest, and then the loser of that plays the winner of 3 and 4, and then the winner out of that plays against number 1, and then that's how it works.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
That's what we would love to see, because we've seen it too many times where a team has gone through undefeated and loses that one semi-final game and they're out. There's no second chances.
You've been a part of that, Mill.
I've been a part of that when for the Bronx, and then it happened to the Roosters last year as well. So consistency doesn't always pay off in the structure that it is at the moment. So
and I think like the issue with our comp at the moment, the way it's ran, girls who are playing, we spoke about it a bit last week, the girls who come up, say they're squad member number 23 and they're not playing each week, but then there's a few injuries or they've earned their spot. Yes. They haven't played in 4 or 5 months because the state comps are played at the start of the year before Origin. So these girls are coming with no footy under their belt.
And expected to be the best.
And expected to do their job. It's a really, really hard situation. We saw it in the men's when the COVID stuff was happening. And I feel like you could tell there was a massive difference especially at the back end of the season when you need to use those players.
Those players hadn't played any reserve grade because there's no reserve grade comp.
Exactly. So put that on top of the fact that we've just expanded the competition by another 4 teams. It's going to be a big dip, I think, towards the back end of the comp.
Agree. All right. I actually really like this next question. Reese Witherspoon, that's the person who sent it in. Do you think a slightly smaller ball for the women's game could help reduce the handling errors?
What do you think, Mil?
I love that. Like, if we're going to change the game or adapt it in any way, I would currently where it stands is we have the same size ball, much smaller hands, but our halves are only 35 minutes. I think we're ready to take it to 40-minute halves. We play international games at 40 minutes halves. We play 80-minute games. If there's any adaptation in the women's game, personally, I would love to see 40-minute halves and a slightly smaller ball. You see guys running down the sideline with one hand. Like, trust me, we try. We've got the ball in one hand. We're doing our grip strength. Our hands just are not as strong.
Look at these little things.
Look at those little things. And you're a hooker.
And you know what? They're not growing. They're not growing.
Eat your veggies.
Seriously,
they're still not growing.
Have you noticed how big the ball looks in certain people's arms?
Yeah.
Like, and you know what else? We're never going to be able to pass as far. Like, you pick up a touch ball, you can bloody zing that thing.
Yeah.
Crazy. Like, it would be ideal. I was against it for the first few years. I was like,
we want equality. We want all of that. We want to be taken seriously. But to make the games a better product, I genuinely think a smaller ball would do that. Imagine like scoring a try, one-handed put down. Just does not happen. It's very rare if it happens in our game. You know when you see the guys, like, actually lately the guys have been like keeping the elbow off and like squirming down and then like putting it down. We can't do that because we can't hold the ball in our hand.
I had to do it for Fox the other day, Millie. I had to hold it in one hand and dive over on the mat, and I said to them, I will never do this. And I hurt my shoulder. And pretty much dropped the ball. I was like, I'm a hooker. I don't do this, and I don't even think the wingers do this. But completely agree with the smaller ball. I will say the only disadvantage or negative in my eyes is the accessibility for it. Like, if you think about all the women playing now, there's no barriers or very little barriers.
Yeah.
You need a ball, refs, enough girls playing.
Yeah.
Whereas if we're going to expand this to country rugby league, we're going to need to bring out all these balls for the new women's game, and which is okay. It's a fine thing to do. I think it'll be extremely beneficial for the game, but it needs to stay for the next 50 years if that's the case.
Look, I wouldn't say it needs to stay for the next 50 years. I would just think that you could even train with a normal size ball and then bang, you go and play with a smaller ball.
No way.
You don't think so?
No, like me at hooker, passing with a normal ball and then going to a small
Says
ball.
me who doesn't pass.
Yeah. I just feel like,
I guess, but like it doesn't have to be for 50 years. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but women's hands aren't going to grow that much in the next 50 years.
That's true.
So I think it's a call that stays for a long time.
Okay, good point. It's also, which Charlie mentioned earlier, they're looking at changing the height of the basketball rings for NBA players, for women's NBA players, because they can't physically jump as high as guys can. They're not as big as guys. Like, we don't really see women dunk.
No, there's a very few, and they're pretty basic.
Yeah.
But imagine bringing it down a little bit. They could do some sick dunks.
Does that really hurt anyone?
No, and it's like an ego thing. Like, we don't care. Like, we don't care that the ball's smaller. We want it to be the best spectacle and product it possibly can be. And if that means bringing the balls down a little bit, sweet.
What are people going to go? Oh, you play with the small ball.
They definitely will. But
they do that. They do that with whatever they can anyway, though. So play on.
Yeah. Good question. I love that question.
Love that question. Okay. Oh, actually, this next one kind of follows on from that.
Yeah.
Hey, Keels, Millie, love your work. How long do you think before NRLW and Origin becomes 80 minutes? Do you think it's actually, is it in our CBA or?
No, there's nothing in the CBA. No,
so when will it,
there's no CBA.
What will it take to play 80-minute games? Because I genuinely think some of the games are lost and won in that last couple of minutes. Imagine if we had an extra 5 minutes on the end of the halves.
I know. I just think with the expansion though, it's not ready. I think 2 years it could be ready, depending on how this season goes. If there's big blowouts towards the back end of the season, definitely not. It's frustrating though. I wish we had a six team comp, which we don't, but it would have been great last season to see the 40 minutes. I definitely think for Origin though.
I was just about to say, for Origin, we could do an 80-minute game and then keep 35-minute halves at NRLW because you've got, the best of the best play in Origin and hopefully they're fit enough and
they will be fit enough.
Provide that product for the whole game. So I think that could be something we could trial maybe.
Definitely. And something else I wanted to bring up actually, a little pet peeve of mine.
Of mine?
No.
I do?
No. So Aussie schoolgirls, it's so good that there's a pathway now, and when we were coming through there was no such thing as Aussie schoolgirls competition. Mm-hmm. So that's just been selected. But it's really grinded my gears hearing this. So the boys, they're both under 18s. They play 30-minute halves at the championships. They have a week-long tournament. 30-minute halves, schoolboys, which is what it should be. The girls played 20-minute games. 20-minute games, not 20-minute halves.
Not
Millie.
even 20-minute halves.
20-minute games. How the heck are you meant to show if you're
Wait, so like 10-minute halves?
No halves, just a 20-minute game. If you're one of the players who your strength is fitness, how are you meant to show that?
I don't even start warming up until 20 minutes in.
Literally. Like 20 minutes in, we're starting to understand what the opposition's doing. You're starting to see, from my position of hooker, I'm seeing what they're doing, starting to take a few runs, working it out. How is that helping the development of the game, giving the females 20-minute games?
It absolutely isn't. I don't know who decided that, but young kids are fit. They can keep going. And also it makes them think that they have to be scoring each set or that they have to put on all of their players at once. They can't build, usually that first 10 minutes is so brutal. You're just breaking the wall down and you're working hard, getting in that cycle, the process and working over players in certain areas. Like there's none of that if they're only playing for 20 minutes.
And you know what else, Bill? So it's the average age in the NRLW is 22, and with the expansion, it's probably younger than that now.
I'd say it's 19.
It's probably 19. So all these girls are the ones. Yeah, literally. All these girls are the ones. Kezi's really dragging that thing up. Just kidding, Kez. We love you. But these girls are the ones coming through. Some of those girls are already contracted to the NRLW. And you know what it does? Playing 20-minute games makes a huge gap in their development.
Yeah.
There's no reason why they should not be playing 30-minute halves like the boys. And that gap, I feel like there's already a gap between those girls, obviously. But things like this just makes that gap even bigger when we're expanding. It is the most backwards thing ever.
And who decides that?
The board, I think. But it's like these things cost no money. It's a respect thing.
Yeah.
And it's a communication thing.
Yeah.
I know there's people communicating in there that are saying they need to be 30-minute halves. They're not listening. And then it's a respect thing to think that we can't play 30-minute halves as 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds who are going to be playing in the NRLW this year, next year. It's just mind-boggling, and
even 20-minute halves, like that'd be a start at least. You can't call it a footy game and just play one half.
It's not even a half meal, it's a quarter.
It's a quarter.
And how that is, so
that's
the girls
like a round robin, you're playing nines.
Exactly. And the girls who are going to be selected in that, like congratulations to all of those girls, so exciting. But they haven't been able to show their fitness. If you're a girl who is the best because you're fit and you kind of just grind out, you get through a lot of work,
you can't even show that.
It's really hard to show that. So those girls who are getting picked in this team are going to miss out, or the girls who miss out on that, are going to miss out on that development when they might be the best person for that. Because the format of it's so silly.
Do you know, Keely, if when they play the schoolgirls game, is that a 20-minute game?
No, it'll be 30-minute halves or 35-minute halves.
Oh, God.
It'll be a proper game.
It'll be a proper game.
Yeah.
All I will say is that is just disappointing, and they're pretty much setting us up for failure. And with something, like you said, that doesn't cost them anything at all to put on a longer game, they're already there. You've already got the ref there. The field's marked out. They've got their jerseys. They've flown there. Make the halves longer.
Yes.
Make it 2 halves.
Give them 2 halves that are longer than 10 minutes, please. Seriously.
I'd love to see some change in that space.
Yeah.
I've got one more question.
Yep.
What do you see yourself doing if NRLW wasn't your career, I will just add as well, right now, NRLW, it's part of our career.
Yeah.
It's not our full-time career. So let's just maybe chat about what we do outside of NRLW right now.
Yep.
And then also I'll add a little extra one in there. If NRLW wasn't a thing, what would your ideal job be?
Gosh.
Put you on the spot there.
Okay. Do you want me to start first?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll
you go.
So what I see myself doing, or what I'm doing now, is I have a strength and conditioning background. So I actually am working at the Roosters, training firefighters, keeping them injury free, and just running them through a program. So love doing that.
Yes.
I feel like that's been a passion of mine since I was about 16, training people, and I've always loved the gym. So do that. But after NRLW, I feel very strongly that I want to be a coach.
I do not understand this.
I don't know. I just feel like I absolutely love it. Even now, I write down things after training.
Yeah, I love that.
That when I'm coaching, I'm like, oh, stranger, you'll do a good drill. I'm like, yes, write that one down, save that, and write what it does. I also, this is so funny. Okay. I have told a few girls that I would like them to blue shirt, maybe potentially for me. So they're on trial for the next about 10 years to see what kind of attributes they bring. Yep. Mill, you're a strong leader in the blue shirt competition. I say you're really good with the middles. I like how you speak to the middles. So you're up there. Kez is also pretty high up there. Feel like I want her to be a bit more.
She's too nice.
She's a bit nice, but she could be good for the young ones coming through. Sometimes they need
they need a little bit of nurturing.
Pandering, nurturing.
Yep. So would you want to is your aspiration to coach an NRLW team?
Absolutely. 100%. I would love that. Eventually I'd love to do assistant for a long time, really get my systems, get things that I like. But even now I always write down things. I love that side of it. And
have you wanted to be a coach? Like, have you always seen yourself coaching?
Yeah. I used to coach like OzTag, state cups and stuff. Yeah. From a very young age. My dad was a coach, like just club footy and stuff, but he would sit down with me and we'd go through the playbooks and he'd ask me things and I would go through it with him.
That's so good.
So I've been obsessed with it. And even after footy, like I want to give footy my absolute best crack possible. Yeah. But I think I'll have a longer career in coaching. Hopefully.
I love that for you.
Thanks.
Not for me, but I really love that for you. I don't think I have what it takes to be a coach. I see people age so I don't have that aging in me. I'd rather, for me, I actually wanted to be a child bride and have 5 kids by the time I was 20. By the time I was like 22. My mum had 5 kids by the time she was 29. So I was kind of looking at
beating her.
And I really, unless I like, have 3 sets of twins in the next couple of years, I don't see myself beating her. But I just can't wait after footy to be a mother, to start a family. But also right now what I'm doing outside of footy is I run my disability programs for people in the community looking to get back into the community and using sport as a big driver behind that trainer group. So I love doing that. And as most people know, my little sister Hannah has Down syndrome, and Adam, my fiance, his older brother James, has autism. So we love the fact that sport played such a big part in their lives in a rural regional area, and they just got treated like us and they were a part of teams. So we love giving people that same opportunity. And then also this year I've jumped on the Channel 9 team. So it is, can I just say, scary as hell. Like I can talk for days, but as soon as like there's a camera there, you've got a producer talking, that you've got your ear thing in, there's like, you've got these amazing, talented broadcasters next to you. They know, they're so chill at it. You've got a camera, like your hair and makeup's done. It's so overwhelming. Like there's so many things going on. And if you stuff it up, like you have this thing that goes into your head. You're like, this is live. You're right now. You're still stuffing up. Say something. Like don't sound stupid. You don't have a whole 30, 40 minute podcast to get out your point. So I've been loving it. It's been very challenging.
You've been killing it. honestly.
I wouldn't say that at all.
You absolutely have.
But I feel like, and they say the only way you're going to get better is just by doing it.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's been something I've really enjoyed doing, and it's been really challenging this year. And I've got a bit of a late call up tonight.
Big gig tonight, actually.
Yes. So the boys are playing game 3 at Accor Stadium, and a part of the broadcast team, which I'm really excited about.
That's huge, Mill.
Yeah.
That is like the pinnacle of broadcasting.
It is really cool. I know. I'm very excited. I've got a little pre-game seg and a halftime seg. So, yeah, I'm really excited.
Congratulations. That's very exciting.
Shout out to Strangey too, who's let me have the night off training. Legend.
What a legend.
What a legend. So, yeah, I'm really excited for that, but we'll see how we go.
You'll be great.
Hopefully New South Wales, God, I just hope they have a good game. I really do.
Yep.
I feel it in my loins. They're going to have it.
Your loins?
Have you never heard that?
No, I say that, but not about Origin.
What? You feel like you got a feeling?
In your loins. Where are your loins?
Oh my God. Next topic. Next topic we're going to get onto is the CBA. It's a hot topic. It's still going on. Just going to nut out a few things, get our point across. I'm going to start off with, because this is hot off the press, the season launch. So the NRLW kicks off next Saturday, the 22nd of July. The season launch is supposed to be still going ahead for next Tuesday, where players, the captains from each team will come together and do their press, whatever. So that's on a Tuesday. It's outside of the blackout period, and that was all good to go ahead. Everyone was planning on going ahead. They still are planning on going there. And then someone comes out with an article saying we're going to boycott it and it's now cancelled. The NRL aren't putting it on. What's the go there?
Well, they're saying the RLPA is telling us not to go. We're going to boycott it, and that the NRL are now not going to put it on.
That's absolutely not the case.
Yeah.
Not at all.
It's
that
just
has not.
Madness.
I feel like they're really not understanding what the problem is.
Well, I feel like the media is playing a huge part.
The media, that's true. The media is just pretty much saying, the media is caught in between the NRL and the RLPO and the playing group right now.
Yeah.
There's just so much distrust between the NRL and the players.
And that's just another example, Mill. I tell you what, I tell you this all the time, but I'll say it again. You know when it really started, the distrust, I think, especially with the women's playing group, was the 2020 season when the COVID debacle was happening. So pretty much what was happening was we were doing Zooms regularly, and we were doing our preseason or our extended preseason. The Zoom meetings, the NRL would say to us, like Andrew Abdo would say, girls, we are 100% are playing. You're just as important as the men. No matter what, this comp's going ahead. Keep training hard. We are going to sort out what we had to do. We'd have Zoom meetings week after week after week.
Meanwhile, we're doing Broncos, yo-yos. We're doing fitness galore to get fit.
It's preseason, continued preseason for the last, I think it was 4 or 5 months. Anyway, we're trusting that they're telling us these things, which I think the women playing group were completely understand if it wasn't to go ahead. It was a 5-round competition when COVID was happening. It's going to cost a lot of money. They were going to have to relocate us. We would have fully understood if we weren't to go ahead. But the fact that they're saying you guys are just as important as the men.
It was just, they were just saying that.
It's going ahead no matter what. So what's happened is all the New Zealand girls, all the girls relocating have relocated to their new club under the precedent that we're still playing no matter what. Yeah. We're doing these Zoom meetings regularly, filling out forms saying, would we relocate? What's our preferences? What's happening? We spent so much time doing this.
Was this 2021?
It was
because the 2020 went ahead, and then it was 2021 where there was the 2 new teams, Eels and Knights. A lot of the girls had relocated to Newcastle, remember, and they'd already started training. They'd come over from they've come from Queensland, they'd come from New Zealand, they'd done the 2 weeks quarantine, and then literally a week before we were supposed to start preseason, or even like the day before, like Just got canned.
This is what happened. The day before preseason, hey girls, looks like we're not starting day one preseason tomorrow, where we're already done 6 weeks preseason. Updates will come the next week. Oh, we're not starting yet. Just hold on. These girls have relocated their whole lives, left their jobs, don't know what's happening with their money, with their pay. They have no idea. The NRL have guaranteed us that we are playing no matter what. Then a month after preseason had begun, was meant to begin, girls have relocated. They say, oh, looks like it's not happening. Sorry, ladies. They try to get girls to fly back to New Zealand, but because of the quarantine and everything that's happening, these girls are stuck for months and months. So we would have understood if they
just
said,
cancelled it from the start and said, we'll just put it on next year.
Exactly. We get that. Like, we're practical. We understand those things. But the fact that they've told us and then it hasn't happened, we lose so much trust with the NRL.
Yeah.
That's instance number one.
That's where the distrust started from. And then, so everyone obviously, like, let's talk about the men's players here because our comp just got, see you later.
Yeah.
We'll think about you next year.
We'll sort you out when we sort you out.
Yeah. But so the men's players all took massive pay cuts.
Yeah.
Like, and I know people can talk about they already get so much money, everyone else was put out, but these guys took massive pay cuts. They all have their lives going on. Mm-hmm. They've all got mortgages. Everyone's got the same thing. Like, it's all relative to what they're doing. They all had to move their lives, their families, kids' schools. Like,
they're humans. They're people.
Yeah. They had so many things. Mm-hmm. And then, so they did that out of the goodness for the game.
Yeah.
For the game to go on, for them to keep getting paid at the reduced rate. You would think that if the NRL had made a profit from the COVID period, that they would say, thank you so much for taking a pay cut and thank you so much for making our game continue. Here is the money that we can now pay you that we didn't forecast from before.
Yep.
No. They end up saying they've got a certain amount, giving a very small portion back, saying thank you.
Which was 11 mil.
Which was 11 mil.
Yeah.
And then the RLPA got an external auditor in to audit the books and to see what they had made and just because a few things didn't line up because of a lot of things that have happened before. And they ended up finding another $30 million. So they said they had 11, it was actually $40 million. Mm-hmm. So there was, until that external auditor came in, because of the RLPA, players are now getting back, and the NRL got caught out for having a lot of more money than they said that they did for the players who are the ones who had to take pay cuts. So if it weren't for the RLPA, those players who were playing would not be getting back the money that they are 100% deserved. Mm. If it weren't for the RLPA, the players would not be getting back anywhere near that money that they deserve 100% completely. That's theirs.
Yeah. And there's many, many, many instances of things, maybe not to that magnitude, but little things like a recording going on in our RLPA meetings from an NRL employee.
Yeah.
Things like that fully erode all the trust. And then instead of in this CBA opening up things for them to be more open about things, to rebuild that trust.
To get an external mediator in.
Yep. And to be more open with things. Instead, in this CBA, they've actually made less things available for the RLPA.
Yeah,
so the RLPA can get less information from the NRL instead of more.
You'd think they'd be a little bit more transparent after everything that happened.
Especially if you want to build the relationship.
Yeah.
But you know what? The CBA negotiations is not the only thing that hasn't been sorted. So it's not like the NRL, this is the only thing that is still needing to get sorted. The state leagues, they haven't even sorted out their agreements yet. NRL and NRLW grand final haven't sorted out their stuff yet. So the NRL is the common denominator.
Yeah.
And
come to the table, NRL.
Exactly. Get with the mediator, with the RLPA and sort this stuff out. It's also, if the 100% of the playing group is on board.
Do you see any current players that are against what's going on? No current players. They're all on board. The only people that are trying to dissect this and to come in between the RLPA and the playing group is the media and journos and people and ex-players because it doesn't affect them.
Yep. And
But
you know
this
what?
affects the current players and the future players.
Exactly. And you know what absolutely grinds my gears as well? When the media or people insinuate or even say that we don't understand what's going on and Clint is telling us what to do.
yeah.
Do you not think
we are on a trillion Zoom calls all the time, like getting updated information all the time?
and we're not smart enough to sort through what affects us and the next 20 years of the women's game?
Yeah.
Of course we take that responsibility, we take on that responsibility and we know what's going on with the CBA. Like we know where that's at. Don't underestimate us. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, it is very frustrating.
And
like we're not
rude.
just dumb footy players.
Yeah.
We can read between the lines here.
Yeah.
Let's look at the women's minimum wage when the first comp started. We've spoken about this.
Yeah.
$3,000, $2,000,
Yeah.
$2,000 or $3,000.
Barley spending money pretty
Barley
much.
spending money. And now it's at $30,000.
Yeah.
Like that is because of the RLPA, because they are working hard, because they are looking at what minimum wages should be for an hourly rate that's spent while training.
Exactly.
That is what it's looking at.
And the only reason why we're even in this situation is because the NRL won't come back to the table. They've given an offer that's take it or leave it. The CBA for the women's, I think everybody thinks is done. It's not. It's a term sheet that there's been a lot of things
changes
that we can't accept.
Yeah.
So
we need to compromise.
Exactly. So I feel like this position's been forced upon us.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just my little rant about the CBA, and think the players are so united. I know the male playing group, they're unreal. They've been really united and helped us so much when we were trying to get our term sheet sorted.
Yeah.
And I think we're united not even just as a women's playing group, but all together.
All together. It's the same thing. I agree.
Exactly.
We're all behind each other.
Yep.
All right. So on to something a little bit more fun. Game 3 tonight, State of Origin. I feel like as important as it is, the CBA and everything that's going on has really, it hasn't allowed us to be excited about Game 3. I know it's a dead rubber.
No such thing as a dead rubber.
Well, there is, because it's Game 3 and it's a dead rubber. But it's a must-win game for New South Wales.
Yeah. I think must perform better than they have the last two.
But we'd love to
Two
see them
rounds.
win as well.
Yes, definitely. But I think the last few...
What, you're not backing them?
No, I am. But I'm saying I think New South Wales would be happy if they played better and there was a brighter future. The last two games have been really bad.
They haven't been, I mean, it's such a hard thing.
Yeah.
Like, and once it starts, it's so hard to stop. Momentum is so hard to stop, especially against great teams like Queensland. But I am so keen to watch New South Wales tonight. I will be cheering them on. I think they're going to get the win. They have to. It's almost sold out at Accor Stadium.
That's crazy.
Which is really cool.
Awesome.
I didn't expect it to, but then I was thinking a lot of those people probably bought their tickets in hoping it would be a decider and that they could go to the game in Sydney. But the atmosphere will be amazing. We've got players debuting. So keen to see Braddy Best out there.
There's a lot of debutantes for New South Wales, isn't there?
There is. Interesting, but it's going to be so exciting to see.
I'm keen. What's your tip?
My tip is New South Wales by 4.
Yeah? Specific score, please.
Oh,
Okay, I'll do mine. New South Wales, 20-18. Ooh.
Oh, you're picking 2. I knew you would go a 2-point margin because you'll beat me.
No, but you just guess what the actual score is.
Okay. I think it'll be 16-12.
Ooh, nice.
16-12 to New South Wales. Bradman Best to score.
Yeah, Brad Best to score, and then player of the match.
Player of the match, I think we'll go to... Who do you think it'll go to?
Cam Murray. I am so excited to see him at 13. I think the more minutes he's on the field, the better. I know a lot of people have been saying that, and I am excited to see him hopefully play nearly a full game.
I think Damien Cook.
Damien Cook.
Yep.
But do you think, so he's named to start
Yeah.
and Reece Robson's named on the bench.
Yeah.
Do you think that will stay or do you think they'll swap it over?
I think I thought Robson did really well last time, so I think they'll start him. And I hope that Damien Cook gets to go on at hooker and not at centre.
Yeah. Well, he definitely will because Clint Gutherson's there.
Yes,
to the
cover.
outside
Yeah.
back coverage.
Wasn't
But
that so random?
so random. But I think they'll start with Cook because of the Rabbitohs combo. But I love, honestly,
Him
Cook
off
the bench.
He's so fast, man.
Imagine being tired on the field.
I couldn't
and then a
imagine.
little Damien Cook comes on.
That's why I just said you can't take it back. You chose that he was going to start. I think they're going to do Robson, then Cook.
Wait, no, I said I think that's what they're going to do. What I would do is different. I love Robson because you know what? He's such a strong body in contact. He's such a good defender. Takes all the sting
What
out
about
of the
in
game.
your debut in the middle playing 80 minutes?
And his service is
Crisp.
literally, I was watching the game like that passing.
Yeah.
Nailed every single one. And when you're tired, debut, you're tackling.
A
That
million
is
tackles.
ridiculous. It was actually ridiculous. And then the mental toughness to know, oh my gosh, Damien's now playing
At centre 3 minutes in and he's not leaving.
You're playing a whole game. That's a tough ask, and he killed it. So I would personally start Robson, bring Cook on, but I understand it from Rabbitoh's point of view, having that little combo. But also Cam's so good towards the back end of the halves. They could really get the ball rolling.
A lot of
Opinions.
They're all conflicting.
Yeah, I know.
That's our take. Go the Blues. Come on. We're in Sydney. Bring it home. Even though it's already back in Queensland, bring this one home.
Yeah. Come on. Give us a little bit of happiness on a Wednesday.
Midweek happiness.
Yep.
Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. And we cannot wait for the NRLW season to start next Saturday, the 22nd of July. All games live and free on Channel 9. Bring it on.
10 days out. And guess what, guys? You guys are the best. Thank you so much.
Guess what, guys?
You guys are the best. Thanks for listening. We're actually recording a bonus ep on Monday.
Yes.
Can't wait. We're going to be doing a little sneaky one. So
A little sneaky preview of our favourite players we cannot wait to see.